doing that. I really don't like doing that, but it's just that it's the way things are going. We've got to get away from these Democrats simply because their agenda is for themselves. It's not for anybody else. They keep talking about how, we're for the people and we want to do this and we want to do that. They've had 6 years, ladies and gentlemen. 6 years. This president was reelected a second time. Look at the scandals that they've had to deal with just in the last 6-7 months. This administration is falling apart every single day. Everything they say isn't true. Nothing pans out anymore. And I know you could sit out there and say, well, the Republicans too. But you know what? I'm getting pretty sick and tired of that doubleness. Because you will never ever hear a progressive or an uber left person, a real ideologue on the left say, yeah, well, you know what? The Democrats too, maybe. They never, ever say that. So when they start with that, well, the Republicans too, that's because they have no answers to the questions you're asking. They don't have any answers to the facts that you're presenting. That's their argument. Oh, well, they do it too. Well, you don't justify bad behavior by pointing to other bad behavior. That's just not how it works. It never did. Because it doesn't help anybody. I mean, they're starting this race thing again with black voters. I mean, it's ridiculous now what they're doing. It really, really is. It's sad, and people don't see it, and I don't get that. What are they becoming, ostriches now? Because they don't want to admit that they made a mistake? It's a vote. You made a mistake. Correct it now. Let's correct the record and move on. And show these politicians in Washington that they're not going to be there for the rest of their lives anymore if they're not doing the job that we sent them there to do. That's what this is about, ladies and gentlemen. It's about turning the tide in this country. Getting it back, taking it back. From people who would have us be, like everybody else. There's no individuality in this country anymore. It's all about the groups. And they're talking about groups that are in the minority here. And I'm not talking about minority groups. I'm talking about people being in the minority. 80-90% of this country is about being, working hard, doing the right thing, following the law. Not about emotional politics. That's the game they're playing. Emotional politics. Take the emotion out of it. Look at it for what it is and deal with the facts. And you don't have to worry about emotion. Like with the southern border. Or with all the people that they say they're helping with Obamacare and how they don't have insurance. Well, you know what? If they don't have insurance, there's a reason for it. There's a lot of people now that don't have insurance. And wait until after tomorrow. Wait till the middle of the month. When the private mandates kick in. Wait till you see what happens then, ladies and gentlemen. Because it's coming. And it's coming big time. You can keep your doctors. You can keep your... No, you can't. No, you can't. And with every single policy that's sold in this country under Obamacare, there must be birth control involved in every one of them. Whether you want it or not, you're going to have to pay for it. This is what they wanted. They passed a bill in the middle of the night, ladies and gentlemen, nobody ever read. Is this the kind of politics you want in your country? Is this what you want from your elected officials? This is why I say we must give the Republicans the Senate back. Get Harry Reid out of there, who's been nothing but a lapdog for this president. Nothing ever. If you just look now, here's another point, ladies and gentlemen, for you to think about while you're online tomorrow voting. How many bills went from the House to the Senate to the president's desk for signing? How many? You probably could count them on 3 fingers. Because I don't think there were any. You know why? Because Harry Reid has blocked every single bill that's come out of the House of Representatives. Every single one of them. So that the president didn't have to do it. What does that tell you? And then this president wants to say that, Congress, it's Congress's fault. It's everybody else's fault but his. It's all Congress's fault. And when he says Congress, the buzzword there, that's the buzzword for Republicans. Oh, well, Congress wouldn't give me this, and Congress wouldn't do that, and Congress doesn't want this, and the Republicans won't do that. Meanwhile, it's been Harry Reid all along who's blocked every single move the Republicans have made since this man took office. So much so that they changed the Senate rules into their favor so that they could vote on things and the Republicans couldn't stop them with the filibuster. Literally changed the rules of the game. But now that may come back to bite them in the ass. Because if the Republicans take back the Senate, now they're in control. You see, this is the arrogance of these people. And I'm not talking about all Democrats, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about the ones who think that they were going to rule forever. Which is why they made that change in the Senate. Because they figured, we're going to take back the Senate. We may even take back the House. Then we'll have all three branches of government back. We can do whatever we want. Especially if we get rid of, the nuclear option. And this is what they did. But they did this in their arrogance. Believing that they were going to stay where they were. Well, I'll tell you something. Looking at some of the statistics, it's more clear now that it looks like they're not going to make it. Right now, the Republicans have 45 seats in the Senate. Democrats have 53, and there are 2 independents who mostly sided with the Democrats. So that's 55, really. Very rarely did the independents side with the Republicans on anything, I don't believe. They may have 1 or 2, but not much. Contested seats by the Republicans, 14. The Democrats have 21 seats up for election. 21. We only need 6. So, I mean, it's there are 3 open seats, and those are Republicans. There are 5 Democratic open seats. The projected gains are Republicans 8, Democrats 0. Those are and maybe 1 independent. And the projections also say Republicans may lose one seat, and the Democrats will lose 8. So we're looking at 52 to 45 now. Republicans to Democrats. So they're with that one. It looks like maybe 50. Yeah, we'll gain 7 seats, and we only need 6. That's all we need. Because don't forget, ladies and gentlemen. What's also at stake here are appointments. Appointments to the Supreme Court. The appointment to the Attorney General, the U.S. Attorney General, is coming. So if he still has the Senate, I mean, they can put anybody they want in these slots, and that changes things for a very, very long time. We see it now. We all see it. What the judges are trying to do in these liberal courts, trying to overturn the right of the the voice of the people, the very voice of the people who are voting for things. And these courts are overturning decisions made by the people in these states. It's appalling. It's arrogant. And it needs to change. The only way to do that is to vote them all out. All those Democrats, get them out. I mean, again, are the Republicans the best option in the world? Probably not. But that's all we have at this moment. They've been painted so bad by the press in this country, who, by virtue of their, I don't know, their political beliefs, how they got intertwined into their job, which is not supposed to happen. The press is supposed to be separate. They're not supposed to support any campaign. Politician. That's not their job. Their job is to tell the truth, which they haven't been doing. So they've painted the other side so bad that people start believing it, because that's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. You hear something often enough, and from different outlets who say the same thing all the time, you tend to believe it, whether it's true or not. So, projections don't look good for the Democrats. So there's hope here, ladies and gentlemen. But you got to get out there and you got to vote. You got to tell these, and it's not. How do I say this? These Democrats are not the Democrats of 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. They're not Democrats anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, they're progressives. They're socialists, most of them. This is what they want, social change. This is what they're after. They want everybody to be the same. They want everybody, to be under the rule of the big government. The government knows what it's doing. The government needs to tell you what to do. You don't know what you're doing. You just don't know what you're doing. We need to tell you what to do and how to do it. In return for your vote, this is what we'll do for you. We're going to give you more things. We're going to give you more, going to put more money in your pocket. They've spent $7 trillion, ladies and gentlemen. Our debt is up to almost 18 trillion with a T dollars. And I know you can't wrap your mind around that, because I can't either. But let me tell you something. It's a lot. And they keep spending, and they keep spending, and they keep spending. And they keep raising your taxes, and raising your taxes, and raising your taxes. And then they want to say it's for infrastructure. It's for this. It's for that. All the money that they collect off of all these projects, so to speak, goes somewhere else. The money's spent somewhere else, other than what it's supposed to be spent on. Look what they did with education. Do you realize it's $13,000 for every child in public school every year? Figure out how many students we got across this country in public school. It's doubled since 1970. It's doubled. And these schools are still in a mess. So, this is what we have to look forward to. We need your help out there, ladies and gentlemen. We really, really do. That's all I can say. Think about it, and think about it seriously and heavily, okay? Because, and I'm talking to Republicans too here, because what they did in the last election was appalling. They sat back because they didn't think that Mitt Romney was conservative enough. This fracture within the Republican Party has got to be fixed. This can't go on either. Okay, they've got their faults. They really do. And they need to get their collective shit together. Because they're all we have right now. That's the only hope that we have left. So, tomorrow, a very, very important day. And, wow, it's going to be something. It really is. Rick is in the seat tomorrow night. He gets to have that moment to let you know what's going on and what's happened during the day. Maybe I'll stop by after the show tomorrow and give my opinion on what happened. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen at this point. I mean, anything is possible. But it looks good that the Republicans will take the Senate. I just hope that enough level-headed Americans come out and vote. Do you realize out of the 100% of voters who were registered, it's, I think, like 40% or 38% of them vote? Think about that. Out of all the people that are registered to vote, only 40% of them show up. That's dismal, man. That's completely dismal.